Hey guys, Ash here from C4eTech, and today I've managed to get my hands on the Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro. Now this is something I've been pretty excited for, so let's go ahead, get to the unboxing ASAP. So this is the box that the phone came in. Opening it up, there's nothing inside except for the phone. Because hey, this is an early review sample. But, globally, Xiaomi is including a 33-watt charger in the box, a USB Type-C to headphone adapter, and a soft case. So at least this is what they've been including for the global variant, and that's what you need to know about the unboxing. With that out of the way, let's now take a closer look at the Mi 10T Pro. So let's start with what makes this phone special. It's gotta be that price tag. It's priced under 40,000 rupees and it comes with a Snapdragon 865 chip, making this one of the most competitively priced so-called flagship killer out there. So now, to achieve this price tag, Xiaomi has cut a few corners, but have they compromised on the experience? Now that's the big question, and the answer to it is not at all. We still have the flagship Snapdragon 865 chip inside. Now, while it's not as fast as the 865 Plus, it is still a flagship chip. It's still a 2020 flagship chip. And from a software perspective, this here is MIUI 12 built on top of Android 10. And the performance here seems to be flagship level. Now, MIUI 12, it introduces a few new features. For example, we've got an app drawer, which is something very new to Xiaomi. The app drawer here, it seems straight out of the Poco launcher. It's got apps auto-sorted into groups. You just have to swipe to get to the different groups. Now there is some bloatware, there are some preloaded apps, and the first thing I did was try to uninstall them, and yes, they are uninstallable. Now the Snapdragon 865 here, it pairs well with 6 or 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of UFS 3.1 storage. The RAM is DDR5, so it's all top of the line specs. Apps are quick to launch, multitasking seems to be a breeze. Maybe I should do 10T Pro versus 80, OnePlus 80 speed test. Is that something you guys would be interested in? If yes, let me know via the comments below, and if you guys want to see it, I'll make sure that happens. Now, other software features include an Apple-esque notification bar. Now, swipe on the left side and that lets you access the notifications. Swipe on the right side and that takes you to the control center. Very iOS-esque control center. Now, is this straight out of Apple's playbook? Yes, but not necessarily a bad thing for the end consumer, because it does make things a little easier. You don't have to swipe twice to access the quick toggles now. So yeah, now I also like a few other settings that Xiaomi has to offer. This happens to be one of the very few phones where you can customize the haptic feedback level. And with the refresh rate, there are 3 options: 60, 90 and 144 Hz. Yes, this display now, it has a 144 Hz refresh, but the technology, it's gone from Super AMOLED on the Mi 10 to IPS LCD here. That said, the colors are still punchy for an IPS panel. It's quite vivid and the viewing angles are excellent. Now this panel also gets bright enough, 500 nits on manual, 630 nits on auto. So outdoors visibility under direct sunlight, that's not going to be a problem. Xiaomi also lets us calibrate the colors to our liking, and the biggest new feature here, it's something Xiaomi calls adaptive sync. Basically, instead of just switching between 60 and 144 Hz or 60, 90 and 144 Hz, this panel can switch between 7 different refresh rates. So based on what media is playing, what app is being used, it is supposed to intelligently, that is automatically switch between these 7 refresh rates. The idea here is that when it swaps refresh rates like this, it should be better for media consumption. For example, for watching movies that were shot at 24 FPS, if the refresh rate is at 50 Hz, it should come out, it should look better. So that is what Xiaomi are claiming. This should also be technically helping with battery life. Talking about movies and media consumption, there's support for HDR even via Netflix, and there are stereo speakers. Now other placements include the power and volume keys to the right. Since this is IPS LCD and not AMOLED, the fingerprint scanner has been moved from under the display to under the power key. Now, this is a capacitive scanner, so you can just touch to unlock. But if you find yourself accidentally hitting that a lot, then you can also set it to need a physical press to scan your fingerprint. Above this, to the top, we've got an IR blaster. Yes, that remains. The speaker and a secondary noise cancelling microphone. The left is left clean. And to the bottom, we've got the primary speaker, primary microphone, a dual SIM tray, and a USB Type-C port. There is no room for micro SD or a headphone jack. Now these sides that you've been seeing, it's metal. Now, yes, Xiaomi has stripped this phone of wireless charging. There is no curved display. It's a flat panel, but it still manages to feel premium because of the metal sides and the glass front and back. By the way, the Mi 10T Pro is marginally larger than its predecessor. It's also a little heavier, 10 grams heavier, but you don't really notice the weight gain. To the front and back, we do get Gorilla Glass 5 for protection. Talking about the back, here's where we find what seems to be a penta-camera setup, but actually it isn't. This is a triple camera setup. One of this is the flash and the other is an auto brightness sensor. So Xiaomi is providing an auto brightness sensor to both the front and back. That is technically supposed to improve the accuracy. Now coming to the cameras, the two primary sensors remain the same. The first is Samsung's ISOCELL Bright HMX, a 108 megapixel sensor that's paired with a fast f1.7 lens that's optically stabilized. Images shot with this, as you can see, they hold a lot of detail. Look at the creative text on this one. The colors turn out quite nicely too. Software features include a dedicated night mode, an option to shoot full 108 megapixels, a portrait mode, and 8K video. I mentioned 8K video under software because it still says 8K AI just like it did on the Mi 10. So I'm guessing, just like with the Mi 10, Xiaomi is still capturing 6K footage and upscaling it. Now 6K, 8K, whatever it might be, like I said in the Mi 10 video, the quality is excellent. So props to Xiaomi. The secondary camera remains 13 megapixels with an ultra wide lens. The depth sensor is cut and the macro is up from 2 to 5 megapixels. It has autofocus and seemingly does well. Look at this 6.3mm connector. Pretty detailed, right? For selfies, we get a 20 megapixel camera and that tiny punch hole. It comes with beauty mode on by default, but turn it off and the selfies seem quite detailed and natural. The portrait shots came out well too. So what do we have here? The same chip with new software, a minor bump in charging speeds and battery capacity. So the battery is now 5000 milliampere, the charging's up to 33 watts. We also get a flat display, a higher refresh rate at 144 Hz with new variable refresh rate technology. All this with a 10K price drop. The drop comes at the expense of wireless charging, having a curved AMOLED panel, and 2 gigs of RAM. Because the base is now comes with 6 gigs of RAM, whereas the Mi 10, it had 8 gigs. That's the only variant. Now, this is what I had to say in the video I shot soon after the launch.
The Mi 10T and the Mi 10T Pro, they aren't the same kind of T-series phones that OnePlus has to offer. In that, with OnePlus, the T phones are always clear upgrades to their regular versions. But with the Mi 10T, yes, there have been improvements, but there have also been certain corners cut. But then to make up for the corners cut, they've also dropped prices by 14 to 17,000 rupees, which is just insane.
And spending a few hours with this phone hasn't really cost me to get a new opinion, a new point of view. So I'm gonna continue testing it out, and by the end of my testing period, I'll have more to say in my full review. So I guess that's pretty much it for this video. Thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about it. Subscribe, turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon if you haven't yet. And thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.